Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. The Warriors are struggling due to recent injuries to Jimmy Butler and Jonathan Kuminga. Signing a big-name player is the Warriors' #1 objective, and Miles Bridges is a strong option to fill the void left by Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler's out, and the Golden State Warriors now have the urge to make an upgrade. As much as Jonathan Kuminga fills in, he's asked for a trade. The front office is hence tasked with finding a suitable piece to finish the season and contribute beyond. JK alone wasn't generating interest. So, it seems Mike Dunleavy Jr. is going on the offensive, declaring interest in Hornets' Miles Bridges. However, the Warriors aren't the only team wanting Bridges. The veteran forward is on a team-friendly contract, making an average of $25 million. Likewise, according to The Athletic's Sam Amick, a bidding war is soon to begin for the 27-year-old. As for Hornets that might be on the move, veteran forward Miles Bridges is drawing significant interest, league sources told The Athletic. The Milwaukee Bucks, Golden State Warriors and Phoenix Suns are all known to be among the interested parties, though it remains to be seen if any team can compel the Hornets to give Bridges up, Amick wrote for The Athletic. Bridges has maintained his reputation as a dynamic scorer for the past 4 seasons with the Hornets. He's averaging 18.7 points and 6.3 rebounds this season. An advantage in trading for Bridges is his depreciating contract value. He's owed $22.8 million in his final season. The Warriors could also view him as an expiring contract next season. Kuminga fits the equation perfectly, too, making a swap deal a real possibility. Now, let's speak about the complications. Amick clearly stated there's going to be competition. The Hornets also expect to get 1 or 2 first-round picks in return. Hence, whoever pursues Bridges needs to prepare an attractive offer. The Warriors, in particular, after what happened last night. Jonathan Kuminga's injury complicates any trade for the Warriors. Mike Dunleavy Jr. openly spoke about Kuminga's trade request. The general manager suggested there's no demand in the market for the explosive forward. Even if there was, it came from the Dallas Mavericks and the Sacramento Kings. A deal with the Hornets would need the Warriors to be generous. That's now become a necessity after Jonathan Kuminga picked up an ailment. The fifth-year forward suffered an ankle injury against the Dallas Mavericks after yet another positive performance. We'll see how bad it is. Such a shame, he was playing great. That definitely hurt us, not having him available for the second half, said Kerr. If it does end up being a long-term absence, the Hornets might not lean into doing business with the Warriors. That's unless the Warriors are willing to part ways with multiple first-round picks. With Jimmy Butler expected to return at the same time next season, the Warriors don't have to compromise their future to make a temporary repair. And with Kuminga playing positive basketball, there's always hope to mend the fences. If the asking price is steep, I don't see the Warriors making a move. What are your thoughts? Let us know your views in the comments below. Warriors rumors, insider reveals truth of Jonathan Kuminga, Steve Kerr relationship. While many assume there's permanent bad blood between Golden State Warriors head coach Steve Kerr and veteran Jonathan Kuminga, it's not necessarily the case, according to The Athletic's Sam Amick. They don't see eye to eye very often, which led to a month's worth of healthy DNPS, thus Kuminga's trade demand toward the Warriors front office. However, trading Jonathan may not be as easy as many assumed for Golden State. With Jimmy Butler ruled out for the season due to a torn ACL, Kuminga cracked Kerr's rotation and scored 20 points in a 145-127 win against the Toronto Raptors. Fittingly, it happened exactly 2 weeks before the NBA trade deadline. Then, Kuminga suffered a knee injury in a 123-115 loss to the Dallas Mavericks, which isn't going to help his trade stock in February. If the Warriors are unable to reach a deal to part ways with Kuminga before the trade deadline, will things work out between Kerr and Kuminga, or is trading Jonathan a foregone conclusion ahead of February 5th? They make it work. I've talked to Jonathan about Steve, and I've talked to Steve about Jonathan. Do I think they hate each other? That's a really strong word, no, but they don't like each other's styles, Amick said. And I think that one guy's getting paid $22.5 million to do a job. I forget Steve's number, but I believe he's the highest paid coach in the NBA. I think they just gotta lock in and do the work because it's mutually beneficial. Steve's thing is a little different. He's got no contract after this season. A lot of questions about what his plans are. But if you're Jonathan, I heard you guys were talking about, do you play through the end of this season? Do you play through the deadline? Of course you do. He's too young, you've been on the shelf for too long, Amick concluded. With Butler ruled out for the rest of the regular season and Jonathan Kuminga's trade stock teetering, Steve Kerr and the Warriors could most likely stand pat. Plus, who knows, perhaps Kuminga returns to finish the season strong as a legitimate piece of Golden State's future, while Kerr's future with the team remains uncertain beyond this season. Stephen Curry sounds off on Jonathan Kuminga trade request. Warriors veteran Stephen Curry says his team's situation with Jonathan Kuminga hasn't been a disruptive process in 2025-26. For Curry, it's not up to the Warriors teammates to stay updated on Kuminga's future, they've been too focused on staying afloat a competitive Western Conference, he said, per ESPN's Anthony Slater. It's not a distraction at all. It's a very unique situation. Our job is to keep playing, keep winning, Curry said. It'll resolve itself one way or the other. The Warriors fell to 25-21. Jimmy Butler's injury may have just saved a promising young starter's Warriors career. Moses Moody will likely no longer be traded this season, and he has the chance to prove why he should stay. The Golden State Warriors are entering a strange period at an organizational level. They quickly went from a team with championship aspirations to one in dire need of a reset when Jimmy Butler went down with a torn ACL this past week. While they were expected to be among the most aggressive teams at the trade deadline, that dream is now likely off the table. There is no obvious move they could make that would bring them back into championship contention. The only thing left to do is to play out the season, granting opportunities to young players that would not normally be available. This also means that players who were previously on the trade block have been granted a temporary reprieve. Moses Moody must take full advantage of this fact. Moses Moody now has another chance to prove his worth to the Warriors. Although the pace of Moody's development was rather disappointing through his first 3 seasons in the league, his breakout after the Butler trade last season left reason for optimism. Moody stepped into the starting lineup with Andrew Wiggins' departure, averaging 11 points, 3.2 rebounds, and 1.5 assists while knocking down 35.6% of his attempts from three-point range from February 10 onwards. This season, he's cut through Golden State's deep rotation to earn a starting role in the frontcourt. He's currently averaging 10.7 points, 3 rebounds, and 1.5 assists while shooting 39.4% from deep. He's proved to be a valuable 3-and-D player that can complement Stephen Curry as a starter or take on important minutes off the bench. His team-friendly 3-year, $37.5 million contract, however, would have made it necessary to pair him with Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield in any deal the Warriors would have completed at the deadline. With Kuminga suffering an ankle sprain on Thursday night, any hope of such a deal has now diminished. Golden State must weigh all of their options as the trade deadline approaches. That is the duty they have to Curry as he approaches the end of his career. As painful as it may be, however, the best route this season is almost certainly to allow the young players time to develop. This means giving Moody even more extensive minutes. If Moody can continue to knock down his shots from beyond the arc, he has a chance to prove why the Warriors should avoid trading him in the offseason. He got off to a good start against the Dallas Mavericks, posting 12 points on 4 of 7 shooting from the field. Butler's injury, in a funny way, has granted Moody new life. Stephen Curry's Warriors' future already decided amid Jimmy Butler, Jonathan Kuminga injuries, Insider. Stephen Curry's draft profile had asked the NBA franchises not rely on him to run a team. Look how the tables have turned. Well, Curry might not express his exhaustion after 17 seasons and 4 rings. But sitting on the bench, wiping his sweaty face with a white towel, staring at the scoreboard during Thursday's 123-115 loss versus the Dallas Mavericks spoke volumes. Given the current situation, many believe that Curry could ask for a trade. However, the baby-faced assassin won't be going anywhere. Speaking on Run It Back, NBA insider Sam Amick clarified, "First of all, Steph has never sent any signals that he has any intention of anything other than finishing with the Warriors. He still has good relationships with Joe Lacob, Mike Dunleavy, and staff. He still has a level of belief, I think, in them." Amick further stated that Stephen Curry centers every decision on hoops, yet his wider business vision matters more. Therefore, he seeks control over legacy, image, and life after retirement. Moreover, Forbes' franchise rankings showed Golden State rising beside the Dallas Cowboys, driven largely by Curry. Since 2009, Stephen Curry has transformed the Warriors' worth. Back then, the team ranked 77th of 92 major U.S. sports teams at $315 million. By 2024 to 2026, the Golden State Warriors sit among the elite, valued between $8.2 billion and $11 billion, a staggering increase of over 2,500%. Curry's on-court brilliance, alongside Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, directly fueled nearly $7 billion of that growth, proving his impact extends far beyond scoring. Coming back to the 2025-26 season. At present, the Warriors are the 8th seed with a 25-21 record in the Western Conference. That's not all. Jimmy Butler's season-ending ACL injury and Jonathan Kuminga's injury have left them short-handed. Most importantly, Curry posted 38 points on Thursday against the Mavericks. Unfortunately, that wasn't enough for the Dubs. Players like Brandon Podziemski and Gary Payton missed several open layups. The team handed 10 turnovers to Dallas. Everyone in the Bay felt Jimmy's absence. And therefore, at the end of the game, Curry broke the silence on Butler's ACL injury. Stephen Curry's emotional response to the Jimmy Butler void. After the game, Stephen Curry finally spoke at the press conference about Jimmy Butler's injury, ending his previous silence from earlier in the day. "It's obviously a tough situation. First and foremost, you think about him and his recovery and his spirits, just trying to be there for him as a friend and teammate," Curry said. "These last 2 games have been difficult making that adjustment, but I think emotionally we have to kind of try to move on, as fast as possible to not let things spiral the wrong direction." Meanwhile, the 37-year-old emphasized confidence and focus despite Jimmy Butler's injury. He explained that as long as he is on the court, he believes the Warriors can win. Therefore, the team must maintain that mindset. At the same time, the Golden State Warriors faced another setback in the form of Jonathan Kuminga. Since Butler's exit, the 23-year-old has come back into the rotation. However, JK exited Thursday's Warriors vs Mavericks game with left knee soreness. A Mavericks player pushed the forward during a dunk attempt with 4:28 left in the second quarter, causing him to limp. He later asked a young fan to move so he could sit. The Warriors then confirmed Kuminga would not return, leaving Golden State to adjust without him. Stephen Curry has fixed his future with Golden State. He's not going anywhere, he belongs to the Bay. And even when stars like Jonathan Kuminga and Jimmy Butler leave the squad with injuries, Curry will continue to suit up for the Warriors. Well, if this isn't the definition of loyalty, then what truly is?